Do you notice the difference between this video and our previous videos? Yep, better lighting. It's all about progress, never perfection. If you don't win your morning, you're not going to win your day. If you don't win your days, you're not going to win your weeks. And if you don't win your weeks, you're definitely not going to win the months. And lastly, as you guessed it, if you do not win the months, you're just not going to win the years. Successful people and winners understand this. That's why they all have morning routines. Hi, I'm Godfrey Bafi. Welcome to Tycoon Talk. What you do day in, day out determines where you end up at, not your job. In this video, we're going over morning routines and the role that it plays in our lives. Let's get to it. Yeah. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson has a tycoon morning routine. That's why he's as successful as he is. Legend has it that he wakes up around 3:30 in the morning, gets ready for his workout, whatever that means. Lifting cars, fridges, houses, boats, go for a run. We all seen the guy. They say that he's up before sunrise to plan out his day, which is really wise because you don't start building a house until you have it finished, So you have to factor in your budget, floor planning, materials, and a bunch of other stuff before you build a house. If you try to build a house without a plan or having it finished first on paper and in your head, this is what you're gonna get. So why would you start the morning to your day without a plan? We can all imagine the type of life that turns into. He also meditates as part of his morning routine, and he strives to get at least 2 hours of quiet time before everybody else wakes up. Jeff Bezos, which we all know is the owner of Amazon, starts his day very early. He enjoys a cup of coffee, read his newspaper, and then have breakfast with his family, and he doesn't start any work-related activities until 10 a.m. Kevin Hart, one of the funniest people we all know, also has his own morning routine. He wakes up at 5 a.m., eats a good breakfast, gets his workout in before he gets the day started. Usain Bolt, the fastest man on the planet and one of the most coolest, entertaining athletes of all time, prioritized sleep over everything. In his own words, he said that sleeping is the only time that his body and mind actually have time to fully recover. So for my athletes out there, make sure y'all get your sleep. Don't stay up late watching Netflix. Now, I'm not saying go copy their morning routine. That will probably not work for you. But at the end of the day, it's very inspirational and we can learn a lot from it. You have to live your life by design. So in order for you to win your days, you got to design your morning. So make sure you take the time to design the morning routines that fits your identity best. To do this well, you got to make sure that you're very realistic with yourself and with whatever morning routines you're trying to implement. Also keep in mind what routine works for one person might not work for the next person. Believe it or not, your morning routine begins with your evening routine. So your evening routine must mirror your morning routine. This gives you the best chance at being consistent and being efficient. You must put yourself in an environment that increases your odds of actually achieving this goal. So for example, if I'm a heavy drinker and I don't want to drink anymore, I'm not going to go live next to the liquor store and I'm not going to walk by the liquor store. I'm always going to take a different route because the closer I get to it, chances are I'm going to go get a swig. By putting myself in better environments and creating better systems, I reduce my temptation and procrastination levels and then also make room for the new habits and behavior I want to implement. Up until 2016, I didn't really have a morning routine. I just had a schedule like most people, But as time went on, I learned to create and develop a morning routine that works best for me in a way that I can win my days, leading into the weeks, months, and then hopefully the years as we go. As I said earlier, it begins with your evening routine. So I strive to be in bed by 9:30 p.m. in the hopes of falling asleep by 10 p.m. Normally, if I'm up past 10 p.m., that means that I'm off the next day, I'm at an event, I'm working on Tycoon Talk content and other projects that we're working on, or if I'm at my actual job, which sometimes I can get off pretty late at night. As I've said before in previous videos, I work for an athletic department and sometimes we can be at work pretty late. So, either we have events going on in our building or we have basketball games, soccer games, all types of various stuff going on. I think the latest that I've ever left work was probably, I want to say 3 a.m., which was a brutal, brutal shift. Part of my evening routine is to limit my availability. It does not mean that I will never respond or I don't respond to anything. In certain situations, of course, I respond. But I think it's important that I get my rest because I have busy days. There's a lot that I'm responsible for, so I have to manage a lot of things and juggle multiple things at once. So it's important that I get my rest so I'm more efficient, more effective. Also, I have more energy for my work, for life, everything else that we have going on. For your physical and mental health to improve, you have to prioritize sleep. As I'm getting older, I'm prioritizing sleep more and more. Since I have very busy days, there's a time for me to completely shut everything down and just relax. So I won't distract myself with being on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Netflix, because I need to sleep, man. What tends to happen instead of going to sleep and we're up flipping through social media and a bunch of other entertainment forms is that before you know it, an hour is gone, 2 hours is gone, 3 hours is gone. Now you're trying to fall asleep and you're having trouble falling asleep because you're thinking about the next day's challenges and how tired you're going to be, and you're going to have to go deal with a boss you don't like. Yeah, it can get stressful. Back to my morning routine. So I wake up around 2 hours before work or any activity on the regular. Even on my off days, I still wake up around the same time. I'm just used to that schedule now because I've been doing it for years. And I can sleep at 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m., still wake up around the same time. Most people wake up right before they got to go to work. That's a recipe for failure, because as soon as your feet touches the ground, you're on the road, you got to hurry up, you're moving 100 miles an hour, and then you probably get to work late anyway. Going from 0 to 100 is terrible planning, because you start forgetting stuff and your day becomes chaotic. You don't feel like you have control over anything. The smallest thing pisses you off. I mean, just imagine a chaotic life like that day after day. You're always going to feel like you're behind, you're not making progress, everything stresses you out, and then you don't even have room for the things you want to implement in your life because you're so stressed out, stuck in your head, dealing with everything else. The first 30 minutes of my day I dedicated to reading. Prior to that, I had not read a single book in my life, and I hated reading with a passion. Even for school, I read like this much. The next 30 minutes is for my yoga practice, which is something that I implemented about a year ago. And yo, if you don't do some yoga, make sure you get some yoga going. After that is the usual bathroom stuff: brush your teeth, shower, get ready for work, and then eat. As I'm eating, I'm also checking on our social media platforms, responding to DMs, responding to comments. Also posting some of our day-to-day contents on our Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And then we touch the road on our way to work. I ride my bicycle to work. I actually have to get a new bicycle because I have to put the old one down. It was too old, rusty, and it just wasn't working no more. The tires actually one of the back tire actually came off one day when I was riding, and it could have been bad. It could have been bad. So I have to go get a new one, and the only reason why I haven't bought a new one yet is because we were put on furlough due to COVID. So chances are, by the time you watch this video, I might be back on the road with my new bicycle to work, or maybe I'll still be on furlough, who knows. Building this morning routine did not happen overnight. It took many days and months and now years. But there's a lot of things that helped me during that process, and we're going to go over some of them. Number one is reading. Whatever book I want to read or whatever book I'm currently reading, I put it right next to my bed every single night. So when I wake up, the first thing I do is just grab it right then and there. The reason why I put it next to my bed is because it just makes it more convenient and easy to grab. If you have it on the dresser or somewhere else in the room, now you have to get out of bed, walk all the way across the room, pick it up. Chances are, you probably won't do that. And as little as that is, that's enough for our brains to tell us, let me just chill. When I first started this, my daily goal was to read 10 pages a day. Once I'm done with 10 pages, I'm good for the rest of the day, and I'm just chilling. If I read extra, that's a bonus. Before you know it, you're done with one book, you're done with 2 books, on to the third. Number 2, don't think. We adults think way too much. I learned to simplify a lot of things in my personal life and business life. Because as soon as you start thinking is when procrastination, laziness, and just, being comfortable just starts to see back in it. So I learned not to think that much in the morning. So as soon as I wake up, I just grab the book, I don't think, and I just read. I would, however, suggest that if you're going to be reading or implement reading in your morning routine or your daily routine, make sure that it's something that you're interested in. I make sure that whatever topics and information that I'm going to be consuming, I have a very high level of interest in, because otherwise it can become tedious or boring if it's something you're not interested at all. So for example, if you're not interested in cooking at all, it makes no sense picking up a book on how to cook some fancy French food, something like, I never had it, but I want to try it because I love food, and I'm the king chopper, so I must chop one. Yes. Those who read are more likely to succeed. So it's no brainer and it's no secret that some of the most innovative, most successful people that came before us, that are here with us, and that will come after us, are huge advocates for reading. Reading helps build your communication skills, your focus, your memory, and on top of that, is inspiring compared to some of the other contents that we're used to consuming. You learn a lot of pretty cool things about some people that you never thought would have similar experiences or, be able to overcome some of their challenges. With yoga, it wasn't hard for me to find a direction because we have plenty of tools at our disposal. YouTube being one of the best ones we all utilize. And it was easy to find a video that's not too complicated, easy to follow, very basic and beginning level. And then the lady's voice is very soothing too. It increases your appreciation for life. You get to reflect on your life, where you started from, where you're at, where you're trying to go. You think about the people that you care and appreciate the most in your life. And some of the things we take for granted day to day, you start to value it more. So you start off the day very happy, feeling fulfilled, and already successful. I've been an athlete all my life, so most people think I should be flexible by nature. But my muscles are actually very tight. I'm naturally very, very stiff and tight. So flexibility improvement is one of the biggest benefits that I've gained from implementing yoga. The best time to establish morning routines is always now. Time waits for nobody, and neither will your dreams and your goals. So the habits you want to develop, the habits you want to add to your life, there's no better time than now. Share your morning routine with us in the comments below so others can benefit from it as well. Also, if you haven't subscribed yet, be sure to hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell, give us a thumbs up. Once you start with the simple and little things first, you become a master at that. Now that becomes automatic, and then you move on to the next thing. As usual, stay active early, chop life, stay Tycoon. Cheat!